Hey everybody, today we're going to play Macaron by Sunrise Tornado Games Studio. I can't wait to get to this one. This is a game coming to Kickstarter soon. So let's go ahead to the table and play. What are we playing today?
Today we are playing Macaron, which is a cute new game that is coming soon to Kickstarter, in which we will be trying to box up macarons, which are a tasty little cookie type treat. And we are attempting to create boxes of the macarons and then turn those boxes into points.
Okay.
So it's a trick-taking game. Trick-taking games are typically card games where we are in player order. Each player plays a card, and whoever plays the highest card wins the trick, which are all the cards that are played. There are some variations in trick-taking games depending on which ones you play. They may have slightly different rules or that kind of thing. But typically, there are a few standard rules that are true across the board of trick-taking games, and they're true for this one as well. One is that the player who plays the first card establishes the suit. So if we were playing with a standard deck of playing cards, if I play a heart and I'm the first player to play a card that turn, then every other player has to play a heart if they have one. So that's a fairly standard thing in trick-taking games. There's also another trick-taking game standard called a trump. And a trump card is from an established suit, which has been determined to be the trump suit. And it means that no matter what, that card will take the trick, even if it wasn't what was led. So back to our previous example, if I played a heart, but the trump suit was clubs, if you didn't have any hearts, you could play a club instead. And no matter the value of your club, whether it was higher or lower than the highest heart that would have been played, which is what would have previously taken the trick, by playing the trump suit, you've now taken control of the trick. Once every player has played one card into the trick, then whoever's played the highest of either the suit that was led or the highest trump card will take the trick.
Okay.
So that's a typical trick-taking game.
And what's the dealios on this one?
Yeah, so this one has a few variations. I think the biggest one is that in addition to a trump suit, there's also an allergen suit. So an allergen suit is established at the beginning of each round with the trump suit. So one player gets to establish the trump suit. Maybe I establish trump suit as the blueberries, right? And then the other player gets to establish the allergen suit. So maybe you determine that the allergen suit is going to be almonds. Now, when we are boxing up our macarons, when we're playing cards to the table, at the end of each round, when all the cards for that round have been played, whoever takes the trick would get some points for boxing up that set of macarons. However, if you have any allergens in your box of macaroons, so if you captured any almonds in your trick, the allergens would basically spoil the contents of the box, and you wouldn't get to move up the track for that particular box of macarons or that trick that was taken. You can negate allergens by playing any two, including a two in the allergen suit. So twos neutralize allergens, and they mean that you can collect the points for the box again. When a player collects points for a box, they get either 1 point on this track right here, or if they were able to capture the trick with a 1, they would get 3 points on the box track. And what happens is, when either one player reaches the top of the box track, or when we've played all the cards for that round of the game, we would see where everybody is on the box track. So let's just say that I ended up here, and you ended up here. So we're going to get points related to where we ended up on this track. So I would get 3 points, and you would get 4 points. We can also bet on how many boxes we think that we're going to be able to make during each round of the game. So at the beginning of the round, you would take your marker and you would determine which of these spaces here you want to bet on. And you're basically saying that at the end of this round, in that row is where your marker is going to be. So if I had bet here, I would be correct at the end of this round, and I would get 2 points. But if I had said that I was going to be here in this row, I would lose a point since I wasn't in that row.
Okay.
So, couple different things, couple sort of new-ish things for trick-taking games, especially the allergen. I'm not familiar with any trick-taking games that introduce
Some
not
kind
quite
of
a trump suit, but something similar to a trump suit like that.
something to like combat a trump suit.
Kind of, yeah. So that's, as far as I know, a very, very new sort of mechanic for trick-taking games. And then this isn't quite as new. There are some other trick-taking games that do this where you have to, where what you're aiming to do is actually what ends up getting you the points, not that you just jump straight into the points, right? Like you have to do something, and then by doing that thing, then you get some points. But I like the thematic tie-in where you're like sort of creating these boxes of macaroons. And so that's neat. And then the allergen thing, like I said, the allergen thing is really interesting.
Cool.
Want to play?
Yeah, let's go ahead and play. We're going to go ahead and play a game to 20 points, and we will come back to you guys after 10 points and midway through the game to talk a little bit more about the game. All right, we'll talk to you guys in a sec. Toodles! So we are in the mid-game, and you just pulled ahead because I was not playing my strength, and I was a fool.
So, you played a card. I could not follow suit, but I did have the one of the trump suit. So I was able to play the one of the trump suit, and that gave me 3 points on the box track, and that shot me right up to 8. So that ended the round. I got 5 points, and you, I think you were still down here.
I
right?
only got the 1 point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So
Yep.
I got 4 points on you that round. And yeah, that enabled me to pull ahead by a couple of points. We are a little tiny bit more than halfway through the game. You're sitting right at 10. I'm on 12. We're going to go to 20.
Yep.
What do you think so far?
So far, I like it. It's a good game. I like how when trick taking is introduced, I feel like it's one of those mechanics that needs something to come up beside it, in an interesting way
I would
to
agree.
freshen up the gameplay. And Macaron is it's a pretty good game, and I'm excited to see the Kickstarter that is coming. And if we haven't mentioned already, this is not the final production. This is just what they sent us. But yeah,
And there's more in the box. We're only playing for
there's
2
more.
It's
It's 1 to 5 players.
So there's more stuff that you would use if
Yeah.
you're playing with more players.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's a good game. We're really enjoying it. I asked Sarah during our mid-game session if she thought it was more filler, and she didn't really think that. I was trying to see maybe it was even more of a chill game where you're kind of like coming home, or you want to. It's one of those situations where you want to play a game, but then you can go ahead and just play something that is not too stressful from your day of work. You can kind of just be like, I'm gonna throw around some macarons, and
So we looked it up because I have always thought that it was pronounced macaroon. But if you look on the box, there's only one O at the end. So I thought, well, maybe it should be like macaron. So we looked it up, and apparently a macaroon is a cookie. And also a macaron is a cookie. But these particular cookies are macarons. Macaroons are those things that sort of look like little snow-capped mountains. They're like white, and they're like torched. So they got like the brown on the edges. Anyway, that's a macaroon. These are macarons.
okay. Well, we got to get that distinction. We got to pronounce this right. But yeah, this is it's going well so far. It's interesting. It's exciting because Sarah just pulled ahead, and it was kind of like
it was a cool way to do it.
Yeah, it was a cool way to do it. So that was a very exciting development within the gameplay and within our session. And so yeah, again, we're playing to 20 points. You can play to 10 in a shorter game if you want to. And then there's another side on the back that shows you kind of more of an advanced.
Well, that's for a higher player count.
That's for a higher player count. But yeah, we got our little bagats out here to insert our little cards in, and Sarah's gonna go ahead and demonstrate these sweet. You're gonna just shuffle. Yeah. So we'll get ready for the next round of this game, and yeah, I hope you all are enjoying this so far. And once the Kickstarter comes out, hope you guys get really the hype train goes strong, and you guys go ahead and check it out. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this game up and go to our winner and loser, and who will eat all the macarons. We should have bought some macarons for this.
Macarons aren't my favorite treat.
Well, we should have just gotten one, and then just drizzled in chocolate.
One is probably about all we could have afforded, depending on where we went.
Where we went.
Some of these are very, very expensive little cookies.
Yes. All right, well, let's go. All right, toodles. No, wait. I know what you're thinking.
Man beat me by 1 point, y'all. 1 point.
Don't worry about it. It's cool. We're okay. But yes, I did win by 1 point. So yeah, pretty awesome victory.
I said in the last round I wasn't going to bet because I previously made a series of bets that did not go well for me.
So I was like, in the last round, I'm not going to bet because I'd rather not make the extra points.
Or lose.
If it seemed more likely to me that I wouldn't make the bet and I'd lose points than I would make the bet and I'd gain points. So I did not bet, but I probably should have. Yeah, if I did, I would have won if I'd have bet correctly. And I think I might have bet where I ended up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think so.
Probably should have bet that last round there. Or bet better in the previous rounds.
Bet better. But yeah. So, well, what'd you think?
I like it. I think trick-taking games are never exactly my favorite thing, but I always prefer, if I'm going to play a trick-taking game, for it to have some sort of extra thing going on. And I think, for me, the allergen in this is a particularly interesting twist. Having the allergen suit be like an equal but opposite version of the Trump suit is really interesting to me.
Yeah, because even on the last part, the length of the game, you're able to do the allergen and the Trump suit in the same,
yes.
As it's the same choice, which has worked, but it has also backfired.
But I think it was really useful in this, particularly in the last round, when Nick set the Trump suit as the green tea macaroons, and I said, you know what, I'm also going to do the allergen as the green tea macaroons because I had no green tea, and because he'd set it as the Trump suit, I figured he probably had at least a few. So I was like, okay, he's going to be playing a lot of green tea, and I won't have any response to it at all. So if I can make sure that he won't get the points for those sets, then that will be good. And there were at least 3 hands, I think.
Yeah, there was a good bit.
Were neutralized by the allergen in that last round. So I think the allergen is a really interesting part of this. I think it's really cute. And yeah, we discussed whether or not we felt like this board was the best way to handle these things that are happening here. And we actually tried it just to see how we felt about it. We tried using tokens to track everything that's happening on this track right here instead of using these. And it was not any better for me, and Nick said it was confusing to him to do it that way. So initially I didn't think that I liked the board as like an answer to this particular question mechanically for the game, but I actually think they're doing the best thing for that situation. So yeah.
Yeah. So again, this is not the final product. It is coming soon to Kickstarter. I saw on BGG there was only one other video, and that was like a Tabletopia or Tabletop Simulator. I think probably Tabletopia. I'm not quite sure which one it was, but here's a physical copy and a little bit of the gameplay and our thoughts on it.
Not all of the components. There are more components, including these chips here, more cards which have different kinds of macaroons on there, including chocolate macaroons and Earl Grey tea flavored macaroons. So we don't play with those in a two-player game, but that is included in the game as well.
Yeah. So this is Macaron, and we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, we'll have links in the description below where you can find out more information. So yeah. Well, until next time, everybody, we will see you later until our next board game vlog. All right. Toodles!